Back into the
Gotcha. All right, so here at Old Redneck Basement, Dad's over here cleaning us a path. We've got the Model A over here, and we're going to try to get the new spring in. It's Father's Day 2015, 1 year roughly since we began this project of rebuilding the axle. It looks fabulous, but we're not done yet, and so we got to do a little brake adjusting, get the new spring in. And if it's a good day, we'll maybe try to start it up today. But brake rods attached and brake adjustments and all kinds of axle things. So may or may not get it done today, but we're gonna give it a shot. All right. So after much bickering between me and Dad, we've got the old spring out. Where did the old spring go, Dad? Yeah. Got the old spring. Show them the old spring. Got it out. Basically, the axle's loose except for at the radius rod connection. So we're ready to begin to clean up the shackle, the spring mount bracket, and pull the clamps, spring clamps off, and we'll show that here in a minute, and we'll rivet those. That'll be fun. Get to use a new tool, and we'll then put the spring in and remount everything back. All right, so we got the spring mount cleaned up, as well as the spring clamps. So we're going to paint those real quick and get a good coat of black on them. All right, so we got the new spring with the bolt. Just ground the bolt off a little bit, and Les Andrews says to peen this bolt to the nut so that the bolt will turn out of the nut. The nut sits up in the top, so I'm going to just take a little chisel here and on each side give it a little punch so that there's a little bit of metal between those two, and getting into the, there we go, so there's a little metal shared between the two. Right in that joint too, right where the bolt meets the nut. A little sharp. There we go. That's a good thing. I can see some metal bent over into the middle on that side. I'll do the same on this side. Yeah, definitely got some metal from the bolt hitting into the metal of the nut, so that should prevent that from backing out.
We're running.
Okay. So we're here at Old Redneck Basement. We're doing a little metal working, a little shop grinding, making a shackle or spring clamp. That's the spring clamp that we've made. This is the one we're working on. Little bars need to make it a little bit shorter. Basically made some 3/4 bar stock. Thank you, Dad. That's the old one. You can see how much shorter this is. We had to make it a lot longer so we get the hole longer, or hole lower, so that the rivet would get in there and have enough room to move around. This is too small, the rivet won't even go through. And so I'm assuming that's because our spring is thicker and we got some other slip plate and whatnot in there. But anyway, so that's what we're making. Can't really get the little dimple in the bottom, as you can see there, because of the press is just not doing it, air hammer's not doing it. So we're going to get a little weld put on there and shape that up instead on the bottom of there. But now I'm just going to finish grinding off the edges here, and then we'll put the use a drill press and put that through the put a hole through the bottom of the rivet. All right, so not a very successful day here at the Old Redneck Basement. Got the wheels off, got the axle loose, got the brake rods in, got the spring out, but the spring clamps did not fit. The old spring clamps did not fit the new spring, and so we had to make some new spring clamps out of 3/4 by 3/16 flat bar stock. And Dad's going to take them over, get the little dimple on the top that fits in the little hole on the top of the 5th spring. And then we're going to see if we can't put that together and get them painted up and get them on. get it riveted and get the spring back in. All right, here we are, old redneck basement. Dad's offered me bug spray that I'm allergic to, so I can't have that. I understand. I can't do it. So we're here at the Model A, and we are year 2.5 of the axle rebuild. That's year 2.5 of the axle rebuild. Now that's looked good for pretty good amount of time. Thank you, Dad. So it's all powder coated and parts are back in and messed with the brakes, and they're going to need some more adjustment, or need some wearing in. And then we got started getting backfiring on the motor, so we were check the compression, and then we set the timing, and was one other thing we did. I can't remember what it was, but oh, check the float level of the carburetor. And in the process of doing all that, we messed everything up, and we got the threads on the drain plug and some other things messed up. We got all that squared away now, and got new gaskets around the sediment bowl, so I think we're good to go. And I think we're going to do a little, my thought today, Dad, was that we would do a little fine-tune timing using a light.
You set the gap too, because we use mother's
Yep, yep. We can set the gap a little bit if we need to, and so we're going to see what we get on time and see if we can get a real fine-tuned timing on like 2 notches down. Is sort of what they say on some things, but anyway, and then we're gonna see if we can't take it out and take it for a ride and see what the brakes do. See if the axles, see if the front end wobble's fixed, which is what the purpose of this whole thing to do, is to fix the front end wobble. All right, so here with Dad, we just took the car out. Of course, we proceeded to leave the timing pin out and put oil everywhere like a dumb cluck.
We didn't screw the timing.
We did, yeah. We left the timing pin in for the in the timing position, not in the thing. So another classic old redneck basement goof. But we were also, after we fine-tuned the timing, we disconnected the high tension wire, and then I failed to put the rotor back on. So we were cranking it, and as soon as it got in there, started right up, runs great. Brakes are a little softer than they were, but not too much, and so I think they're safe enough to take out on the road. And so I think the car's back up, we'll say. The wobble seems to be gone. The braking wobble seems to be gone on the thing. It's still got a little bit of sort of rough ride to it. I think that's mainly just the stiff steering and the stiff suspension and no shock absorbers. Shock absorbers probably would help. But then we definitely need to rebuild the or at least recenter the steering gear. We probably need to rebuild it. If we're going to take it out to center it, we probably might as well rebuild it. But I wonder if we can get that done by Mr. What's his name over in Cumming. Forget who that is. Anyway, so car's back up and running, and the axle rebuild I would say is done.
I would agree.
All right, good news.